Hey, silent fighter. Yes, you. The one who looks calm on the outside but wages quiet wars no one else can see. The one who laughs in public, but wrestles with thoughts that never shut up when the lights go off. You've been strong for so long that even your strength is starting to feel like a burden. Let's be real. Your mind can be your best friend or your deadliest enemy. You can be sitting in peace, no chaos around, no one yelling, no one hurting you, and still feel like you're being attacked from within. That's the paradox of the human mind. The loudest noise comes from silence. You've had those nights, haven't you? Where one tiny thought turns into a storm. I'm not good enough. They don't care about me. I'll never get it right. That one thought becomes 10, 10 become 100, and before you know it, your own brain feels like a battlefield. But here's the truth. You are not weak. You are not broken. You're just fighting an invisible war most people aren't brave enough to face. And today, we're going to end that war, because the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, lived through chaos, betrayal, war, and loss. Yet they found peace not by escaping life, but by mastering their response to it. They learned something modern people forget. You cannot control the world, but you can always control the world within. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Read that again. You don't need to fix everything outside you to find peace. You just need to take back command of your own thoughts. You're not your fear. You're not your mistakes. You are the observer, not the storm. So this video isn't for the person who wants a quick motivational quote and feels better for 5 minutes. This is for the warrior who's tired of letting their own thoughts win. This is for the quiet one who smiles through pain but is ready to silence the noise once and for all. This is for you, the one who's finally ready to reclaim your mind. Over the next 7 habits, we're going to destroy the roots of negative thinking, not by force, but by wisdom. You'll learn how Stoic philosophy transforms chaos into clarity, how to stop overthinking, stop fighting yourself, and start mastering peace like a warrior monk. So don't just watch this video, study it, breathe with it, let each idea sink into you like armor being built piece by piece, because by the end, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll live it. Before we begin, I want you to type this in the comments as your first declaration. I am stronger than my negative thoughts, because that's the truth. You've just forgotten how powerful you really are. Take a breath. Let's rebuild your mind from the inside out. Let's kill the negativity, one Stoic habit at a time. Habit 1. You are not your thoughts. The first Stoic habit that kills negative thinking is understanding this timeless truth. You are not your thoughts. It sounds simple. But most people live their whole lives without realizing it. They think every thought that enters their head defines who they are. But if that were true, you'd be 1,000 different people every single day. Because the mind throws random, fearful, painful thoughts at you like waves hitting a shore. The Stoics taught that the mind has 2 parts. What happens and how you respond. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. Negative thoughts will come. They're part of being human, but they only have power if you grab them and call them yours. Epictetus said it perfectly. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. That means it's not the thought, "I failed," that hurts you. It's believing that thought. It's not "they don't like me" that breaks you. It's identifying with it. Here's a truth most people never hear. Your thoughts are not commands. They're not facts. They're just signals passing through the sky of your mind. Imagine your thoughts like clouds, dark, heavy, unpredictable. Now imagine yourself as the sky, vast, untouched, infinite. The clouds may come and go, but the sky remains calm, endless, and still. That's who you really are, the sky, not the storm. The Stoics used powerful exercises to master this. Whenever a disturbing thought appeared, they would write it down and question it, almost like putting it on trial. Ask yourself, Is this 100% true? What evidence do I have? Will this matter in 5 years? What would Marcus Aurelius say about this? You'll start to see something remarkable. Most of your negative thoughts have no foundation. They just feel heavy because you've been carrying them for too long. Try this practice today. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," say, "I'm having a thought that I failed." That tiny shift creates distance. And in that distance, you find freedom. Because when you stop fusing with every negative thought, you begin to see the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the watcher, the stillness beneath the noise. So from now on, whenever a painful thought appears, don't wrestle with it. Acknowledge it, label it, let it pass. Remember this, you are the sky. Thoughts are just clouds. Drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I am not my thoughts. I observe, detach, and choose. Let's move to the next habit, one that separates the peaceful from the tortured. Habit 2, stop fighting reality. Most people lose peace not because life is cruel, but because they keep arguing with what is. They suffer because they believe things should have gone differently. This shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have left me. I didn't deserve this. But the Stoics saw the truth thousands of years ago. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering begins when you start fighting reality. Epictetus taught, do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. It doesn't mean you celebrate pain. It means you accept it as part of the human experience. Because the moment you accept, you regain your power. Think about it. If it already happened, then resisting it only keeps you chained to the past. You can't rewrite the event, but you can always rewrite your response. Imagine two people standing in the rain. One curses the sky, shouting, "Why me?" The other puts on a coat and keeps walking. They both get wet, but only one keeps their peace. That's the difference between reacting emotionally and living stoically. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. It means loving everything that happens, even the difficult, even the painful, because it's all fuel for growth. You failed? Good. Now you know what doesn't work. They betrayed you? Good. Now you know who never deserved your loyalty. You were rejected? Perfect. That was life's way of redirection. Marcus Aurelius said, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Be that fire. Don't fight the ashes. Burn them into light." The next time your mind starts whispering, "This shouldn't have happened," stop it right there. Say this out loud. But it did. So now what? That one sentence turns pain into power. It ends the argument and begins the healing. Because peace doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from accepting life as it is and still choosing to move forward. So your second affirmation, I accept reality and I grow from it. Now breathe deeply. The first two habits teach you awareness and acceptance, to observe your mind and surrender to truth. But the next one teaches you the most practical Stoic weapon of all, how to control the storm of emotion before it controls you. Habit 3. Master the pause. Before you react. Here's a truth that can change your entire life. Between what happens and how you react, there's a space. And inside that space lies your power. Most people live as slaves to their emotions. Someone disrespects them, they explode. A plan fails, they collapse. A relationship ends and they lose their entire sense of self. They think their emotions are commands, when in reality, they're just signals. You don't have to obey every signal. You don't have to fight every battle. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That estimate he speaks of, that's your interpretation. That's your power. You see, the problem isn't that life tests you, it's that you react too fast. You don't pause long enough to think, is this worth my energy? That's where you lose your peace. A Stoic doesn't rush to react. he observes first. He watches the emotion rise like a wave, and instead of panicking, he lets it crest and fall. He lets the first fire pass before deciding his next move. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." So the next time something irritates you, pause. Take 1 deep breath before you speak. Take 2 before you type that angry message. Take 3 before you decide to walk away or fight back. That pause will save you from years of regret, because the Stoic doesn't need to shout to prove his power. His calm is the proof. Remember, anger is weakness disguised as strength, silence, restraint, and patience. That's real control. Every time you pause, you reclaim authority over your emotions. You become the calm in the chaos. So repeat this. I pause, I choose, I stay in control, because once you master the pause, you no longer get dragged into other people's storms. You become the storm they can't shake. And that takes us to the next habit, one that turns emotional wounds into weapons of wisdom. Habit 4, turn pain into power. Here's the hard truth most people never accept. You can't live a strong life without pain. You can't build emotional armor without scars. But here's what separates the Stoic from the ordinary. The Stoic doesn't just endure pain, he uses it. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every failure, it becomes raw material for strength. Like a blacksmith shaping steel in fire, the Stoic shapes his mind through adversity. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle isn't there to stop you, it's there to reveal you. You discover who you are, not in comfort, but in resistance. When things fall apart, most people ask, "Why me?" The Stoic asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because behind every pain lies a lesson that can transform you, if you choose to look deeper instead of running away. Think about your hardest moments. The betrayal that broke you, the rejection that crushed you, the failure that left you questioning everything. Did it hurt? Of course. But look closer. You're still here. And not just here. You're wiser, tougher, more aware. The pain didn't destroy you. It forged you. That's what Stoicism teaches. Don't waste your suffering. Don't numb it. Don't hide from it. Transform it. Let it carve discipline into your bones. Let it build unshakable calm in your soul. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." So the next time life hits hard, don't ask for an easier path. Build a stronger spirit. You don't need to avoid pain. You need to outgrow it. Every time something breaks you, rebuild with more awareness. Every time you fall, rise with more wisdom. And every time you lose, learn so deeply that you never lose the same way again. Say this to yourself, "My pain is my teacher. My struggle is my strength," because that's how you destroy negative thinking, by turning every scar into a source of fuel. Habit 5, focus only on what you can control. This is the Stoic law of freedom. You cannot control everything, but you can always control your mind. Most people waste their lives trying to control things that were never theirs to begin with. They stress about opinions, outcomes, and timing. They fight reality every single day. But the Stoics learned early. Peace begins the moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Epictetus said it best, "Some things are in our control and others not." It's that simple. But it's the hardest truth to live by. You can't control what people think of you. You can't control if life plays fair. You can't control when the results will come, but you can always control how you respond, how you carry yourself, and how long you keep your discipline. Most people give their power away too easily. They let other people's moods control their mood. They let rejection dictate their self-worth. They let uncertainty decide their peace. But a Stoic draws a clear line. What's mine, I command. What's not, I release. That's real strength. To stay calm in chaos because you know exactly where your control ends. When something goes wrong, ask yourself one question. Is this within my control? If it's yes, act with discipline. If it's no, release it instantly. That single question will save you from overthinking, emotional exhaustion, and mental burnout. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. So stop trying to control others. Stop trying to control outcomes. Control yourself, because that's the highest form of freedom, to no longer be enslaved by what doesn't belong to you. Repeat this affirmation: I focus only on what I can control, and I am free. And once you master that, you'll find peace that nothing external can touch. Now, what happens when you stop caring about control, but people still try to shake your calm, criticize your choices, or doubt your silence? That's where the next habit comes in. The Stoic art of detachment. Habit 6. Detach from external validation. Let me ask you something real. How much of your suffering comes from caring what others think? How many times have you changed your truth just to be liked? How often have you shrunk your power just to be accepted? That's not peace. That's prison. And Stoics refused to live in that kind of cage. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Read that again. If you truly want peace, you must be willing to look wrong in the eyes of others. Because freedom means living by principle, not by applause. We live in a world obsessed with validation, by followers, likes, opinions, gossip. Everyone's performing, but no one's being. Everyone's shouting, but no one's listening. And that's why people are anxious. They keep handing their peace to the crowd. But the Stoic moves differently. He doesn't chase approval. He chases alignment. He doesn't react to judgment. He remains anchored in truth. He knows who he is, and that's enough. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. Because when you stop seeking validation, you start living from internal power. You become quiet, but your silence speaks louder than any defense ever could. People may misjudge you. Let them. They may doubt you. Let them. You are no longer living for their understanding. You're living for your purpose. Here's a Stoic truth. If you don't need validation, you become unstoppable. Your focus returns, your peace deepens, your energy multiplies. So from today, stop waiting for applause. Stop explaining your silence. Stop chasing approval. You have nothing to prove, only something to build. Repeat this. I release the need to be understood. My peace is my power. Habit 7. Practice daily reflection. The Stoic ritual of inner clarity. Every warrior sharpens his weapon before battle. For the Stoic, that weapon is the mind. And the sharpening happens in silence, through daily reflection. You cannot destroy negative thinking if you never study it. You cannot master your mind if you never sit with it. The Stoics ended every day by examining themselves. Marcus Aurelius did it in his journal, which later became Meditations. Seneca wrote letters to himself, reflections on the day, on mistakes, on progress. They didn't do it to judge themselves. They did it to understand themselves. Before sleep, they would ask simple questions. What did I do well today? Where did I let my emotions take over? How can I be wiser tomorrow? That's Stoicism in action. Not theory, not talk, but a quiet conversation with your soul. Because here's the truth. Your mind doesn't become peaceful by accident. It becomes peaceful by practice. And reflection is that practice. In silence, you start to see the patterns of your mind. What triggers you, what drains you, what strengthens you. You begin to separate emotion from logic, noise from truth, reaction from response. And the more you do this, the more you build mental clarity, the calm, grounded awareness that no chaos can touch. Seneca said, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said." That's the essence of Stoicism. Self-awareness without self-hate, accountability without shame, growth without ego. So every night, before you scroll, before you sleep, reflect. Write, breathe, ask yourself, did I live today as a wise person would? Because your peace doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from how well you understand yourself when it happens. Repeat this affirmation before sleep tonight. I reflect, I learn, I evolve. My peace grows daily. That's how you end the war inside your mind. Not by fighting harder, but by seeing clearer. The closing message, the unshakable mind, let's bring it all together. You started this journey feeling the weight of negative thoughts, those silent storms that never seem to stop. But now you've learned what the Stoics knew for centuries, that peace isn't found in escaping your thoughts. It's found in mastering your response to them. You've learned that you are not your thoughts. You are their observer. That you must stop fighting reality and start accepting what is. That mastering the pause is the key to mastering yourself. That pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. That you can't control everything, but you can always control yourself. That validation is a trap. Your power comes from within. And finally, that reflection, daily honest reflection, is how you stay sharp and awake. This is the Stoic path, not loud, not dramatic, but quiet and unbreakable. A man or woman who walks this path is calm even in storms, collected even in chaos, and powerful even in silence. So the next time your mind starts turning against you, pause. Breathe. Remember who you are. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the master of your mind. And if you stay consistent with these 7 habits, one day you'll wake up and realize the noise is gone. The world will still be loud, but your soul, silent, still, and powerful, will no longer be shaken. That's the Stoic way. That's real peace. So breathe deep, straighten your posture, and say this one last affirmation out loud, and not as motivation, but as truth. I am calm. I am powerful. I am in control of my mind. Now go live it, because silence isn't emptiness. It's strength contained. And you, my friend, have just learned how to unleash it.